So you actually just wrote an article that was connected to some research that came out about introverts, extroverts, and then ambiverts. Tell us what ambivert means, and then tell us about the study.
Well, remember in the beginning, I talked about introverts and extroverts all being on a spectrum. And most people lean one way or the other. But there is a group of people who fall squarely in the middle, and they're called ambiverts. So think of ambidextrous. You're comfortable, writing with either hand.
Okay.
Ambiverts are comfortable gaining energy through social interaction or solitude. And I often think of it as a Friday night test. So think of Monday morning. So it's Monday, and you're already looking forward to Friday. And you say, oh, Friday, 5:00. I can't wait to walk into my house and do what? So an introvert, most likely their default's going to be, I can't wait to decompress. I can't wait to not have to answer email or not have to talk to anybody. Yeah, I have to go to something on Sunday, but that's okay. I have the next few days to rest and gear up for that. An extrovert would be like, oh, I can't wait for Friday. I get to put on my, my party clothes and go out to hear the band with my friends, or I'm having a dinner party on Saturday night. The ambivert doesn't necessarily have that strong default. On Monday, they're going to be like, well, I just want to see how things go. I don't have a default setting, where I, as an introvert, I don't think you would ever find me on a Monday saying, I can't wait until go to that party on Friday night. No offense against the people who are giving the party, but it's just not what would come naturally. So ambiverts fall in that middle. And there's a researcher named Adam Grant of the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. And he looked at, he did a personality survey to more than 300 salespeople. And then he tracked their sales records for 3 months. And interestingly enough, he started with the premise that it would not be the extroverts who outperformed the introverts. He figured that introverts would probably do better. And he was proven right. But what he also found was that people who fell in the middle outproduced them both. So those ambiverts did better than the introverts, and the introverts did do better than the extroverts. Actually, let's see, ambiverts earned 24% more sales than introverts did, and 32% more than extroverts. And what he posited was that the ambiverts can naturally engage in this really flexible dance between, speaking and having enthusiasm and talking with the prospect, and then being quiet and listening and asking questions and just creating a great spaciousness around the conversation. Those were the people that were the most successful. And so they were persuasive, they were influential, but they weren't pressuring. Again, a very spacious kind of environment for that conversation. So I think introverts can take heart in that. Number one, that success in sales doesn't just belong to the extroverts, and that you can cultivate some of those ambivert skills. And for introverts, that means being confident and I hesitate to use the word bold because it implies that the opposite is timid. I don't think that we're timid in sales conversations, but we can kind of hold back questions or hold back thoughts because we want to process them or we want to save them. And we think, oh, I can just follow up later. And so the being bold would be asking them right there in that moment, extrovert yourself as a verb during that time in order to strike that balance that the ambiverts have found.